the rainy season is now slowly going away and we are approaching the dry season or the low rainfall season, because this is a tropical area. So the rain seasons are on and off. So the long rains have begun subsiding. We are moving to the short rains. Now our maize, they are getting ready for harvesting. They are drying up in the farm, but we had already removed the beans. Now, before we harvest the maize, we wanted to do the planting of our Irish potatoes. Irish potatoes are suckers. They are planted below the ground. And how you do it, what we decided to do is in between the maize, we decided to do the rows for the Irish potatoes. So as you can see, we already got our, we call them mbegu, but our seeds, if you can call them seeds, and they have already started removing the shoot. You can see these are the shoots that are supposed to germinate. So what we will do, we will have 80 meters between one maize and another one. That will be the same meters between one row of Irish potato and another one, and between one plant and the other one we leave 30 centimeters. I said 80 centimeters, not meters. So now we will be placing them on the same alignment of 30. I've already done the measures, so also ensure you do the measures, because so when the Irish potatoes grow up, they will require some space because their leaves are usually bulky. So don't put them close together. Then another thing, when you're planting, ensure that the part which has shoot out is facing upwards, so that you encourage it to come out well. Then we will not plant with manure, because we had already done manuring after we had removed the beans, and the next manure cycle we'll do after 3 months. It will have shoot, and you will be able to apply it well on the ground. So after you've done this, what I'll just do is to return back now the soil. I'll ensure that I've covered up. You remember also Irish potatoes require a lot of soil around them, so you'll ensure that you return back the soil. Let me do it with my hands like that. The reason why we are doing it below the maize, you see there is some shade now. The maize is acting as mulching for the vegetative plants that are below the soil. So for as long as these ones will take another 2 or 3 weeks for them to dry up. For as long as the maize have not been harvested, it will create enough shade to retain enough moisture. So we'll not do mulching at this point. But the time we'll be removing the maize, then we'll use these stalks as mulching over the soil, because we also want, as you are treating well your potato, also ensure you treat well your soil, because it is the soil that will feed the potatoes. So don't forget to treat well your soil. It's like a baby. You cannot take care of the baby and not take care of the mother, because they depend on each other. So when we are taking care of our baby, which is the Irish potato, also we need to take care of the mother, which is feeding the baby, so that we can get a good output from the plantation. So we'll do the covering and we'll now move to the next row. So we'll do this for all the areas. You remember we had talked about rotational cropping. Rotational cropping is important. So as the nutrients like nitrogen has already been generated here, because we had the legumes, which were the beans. Now we want to do a plant that will absorb the nitrogen, and the next cycle again we'll do a plant that will have phosphate, all the potassium, so all those types of minerals. Instead of you adding them manually using the fertilizers which are artificial, it's good you plant plantations that have these products in them. So that's why we are doing, showing you how we'll be planting our Irish potato on the first section of land that we had already done the first phase of maize and beans. I want to show you another concept that we did for this piece of land. we left it to heal. As you can see, it is the section that we have the pixie oranges, but as long as the oranges are still small, you can do any plantation that you require in this land. The only problem that comes in for fruit trees is when they are flowering, the pollens that come from this other plantation, they usually affect how the fruits are forming. So when they start flowering, will not be doing anything here apart from just low cover crops. But because they are young, we can do even maize farming, sorghum farming, millet farming, any high plantations on this side. So it is good to be letting your land to heal. Healing is a process that we all require. I'll give an example. We work for 6 days and the 7th day we rest. Every one of us takes a break. But for our land, we tilt it year after year, month after month. We rarely leave the land to settle. When we leave the land to settle, it is during the sunny period or the dry period, and there is nothing you're doing for your land because you're just leaving it exposed to the sun. So for this season, as it was raining, we left this land there. We put on some beans so that it can also generate for the soil nitrogen that it needs for the next planting cycle. And we encourage the land to heal up so that on this other side, where we'll be doing